Welcome back, friends. Today in this video, I'll try to cover the concept on Python string methods. So previously in the previous series of Python strings, I have covered the basics on strings. Today in this video, I'll be trying to cover the methods that are being used as part of the strings. So as you people might aware about the Python string methods, that the methods are here built-in methods. Okay, that means whenever we want to use, there are some specific methods are there which are already been defined, so we can use them so to perform some kind of operations on strings. So as the string are immutable in nature, it means whenever we'll use any kind of string methods, then it returns a new object, and in order to bring that particular operation, we require another variable. That means there won't be any change or there won't be any impact on the original string just because the strings are immutable in nature. So now we'll see the operations, that what are the operations that are being, that means covered as part of this concept. First we will take a string here, and in this string we'll see how can you perform different kinds of methods. So for example, like here, what I'm doing here is that I'm taking one string, and in this one, I'm taking a string called as good morning. So I've just created one string. The string is good morning and I stored in a variable called a. Now, what I want to do is, for example, if I want to print this, I can print it anyhow. You will get the same string. Now, first operation which I need to perform is capitalize method. What is the role of capitalize method? What does capitalize method will do does is, whenever we use that method, it actually converts the first letter, the first character into uppercase. So let's see how can you implement this. So for that, what we require is, we require the string variable. Along with that, we require a method, the capitalize method. So what I'm doing is, as I said, the strings are in immutable nature. So I'm just using another variable where I'm storing the result of this one. So here I'm using b is equals to a, then capitalize, right? I'm using this method now. Okay, so I'm just trying to print this b. So you can see the first letter has been converted into uppercase. So in this way, the capitalize method can be used. Similarly, what I want to do is, for example, here in this string, only the first word has been converted, the first letter of the first word has been converted into uppercase. But if I want all of the words into uppercase, then how can I do this? I can use it by using a method called as title method. So for title method, what I can do is I can use the same thing. I'm just storing in the another variable, because a will not be changed. So a will be as it is. So a dot, I'm using title method here. So you can see that when I'm taking C, and if I want to print C, then you can see that both of the words, that is good and morning, are in that the first letter has been printed as in uppercase. Okay, so that means G is also in uppercase and M is also in uppercase. So in this way, the title method will be used. Similarly, we can also use another method called as case fold. Now, what is exactly a case fold? Case fold is something like if you want to convert all of the words, I mean, all of the letters into lowercase, then you can convert them into lowercase with the help of case fold method. So how can I do this? For example, if I'm taking one string where I'm taking in uppercase because I just want to convert in lowercase. So I'm just using good good day. For example, if I've taken good day, I have taken now that has been stored in a variable called as d. Now what I need to do is I am just using another variable like e where the result is going to store there. So you can see that I'm using the string name that is d dot case fold. If I'm using here case fold, right? If I'm used here and no need of giving any value to the arguments, it is just as an empty one. So now if I want to print this, so if I just print here the value of e, then you can see that all of them has been converted into lowercase. Okay, so in this way the case fold works here. Similarly, exactly to that, there is also a one method called as lower method. Okay, that means this what you say case fold and lower methods are similar in nature. The difference only lies here is in lower one you can only convert some letters, and in case full you can convert more number of characters into lowercase, such as you can say that any other languages apart from the ASCII code, because you know it supports Unicode, right? So apart from that, the normal the letters, if the for other languages also, in order to convert them into lowercase, that case fold can be used. But lower is something just you use for normally how we used to use for alphabets. So that is all that only the difference here is. Rest of them, the output will be in the same way. Like here for the same thing, if I used to do with the help of another variable, like I'll just take e only here because I'm just changing here. So what I'm doing here is I'm using e dot, or else if I'll take another one, f is equals to, now what I'll do is d dot, I'm using lower now. So lower in the sense, what is d value exactly here? What I have taken d as in uppercase, good day and uppercase. So the same content will be there for d, right? Because for example, you can see what is there in d is, if I'm just see, d will give you the value of good day. Now the same good day I can convert in lowercase with the help of lower method, right? So here what I'm doing here is I'm just using case lower instead of case full. So how should I do this? It's simple. Like I can do is I can use another variable called f here. I'm just using it. You can use the same variable. So I'm just using f here. Now what I need to convert is I need to convert on the string of d. So I'm just using d dot lower one. So here if I use lower, now you can see there are no arguments here. And if I just want to print this f, right? So you can see that it is also giving me the same output, because in lower sense that means the characters by these are the characters which supports by the lower as well as by the case fold. So in this way the lower will actually works here. Similar to that, we can also have uh, an upper method which will convert all of the letters into uppercase. Might be some letters are in uppercase, might be some letters are in lowercase, but it converts all of them into uppercase. So how can we do that? So we have seen already in a what a actually stores, you know, it contains good morning, right? And which is in lowercase. So now what I'll do is I'll just convert them into uppercase. So how can I convert this? I can use any other variable, like I can use f also, because now f is used for this one. So I'm just using f here. So I'll just write here f is equals to a dot upper, so that it converts into uppercase. So I'll just do this. Now if I want to print this f, right? If I want to use this print of F, right? So you can see that has been converted into uppercase. So in this way, uppercase can be used here. Okay. Apart from that, there are other methods such as the one is called center one. So what the role of center is, for example, like here, what I'll do is I'll take one string. Now I'm taking a string called as Irshad, right? So I'm just taking in uppercase here. You can see that I've taken A as Irshad now. Now what I should do is like I'm using center method in order to put the text, I mean to put all the letters Irshad at its center. How can I do this? I can do this, like I'll show you. I'll take this, the result will be stored in B, that's I'm using B here. Now I'm using A dot center. So I'm just B is equals to A dot center. I'm using now. Now what I'm doing here is that the first argument, if you observe there, I'm using the numbers. So you know Irshad is actually of 6 letters, but here it is, I'm taking 10. That means 4 more letters are being there. So this 4 more letters will be occupied one with some character. So I need to specify that character. So I'm just putting here asterisk over there. So what happens is this asterisk will come at the adjacent one. That means the lower range and the upper range. So I'll just show you with an output. So if I'll just print here B now, you can see that first 2 letters are asterisk, then Irshad is there, then again 2 asterisks are there. It means that if the string contains 6 letters and if our requirement is of more than that, then the number of letters by which, for here in this example, 4 more letters are being there. So that will occupied by with this character, whatever you specified over there. So here we specify asterisk, so that's why it is coming in this way. But for example, if you're taking less than that, like we have Irshad as of 6 characters. If I take 6 or less than 6, then there won't be any update. It will only give me as the same content. Like here, for example, if I'm writing here A dot center, okay. So here what I'm doing here is that if I'm using 5, right now, I'll just do this. Here I did this one. Now if I just want to print this, you can see that only the actual content has been printed. Okay, even it is 5, but it is not printing only the file, it is printing the complete original content. Okay, so there is no role of asterisk here. This only applicable only if the 5, instead of 5, you have specified more than the size, like you specified 7 or 8 or more than 6, then only you can find the difference. So in this way, the center method will be used here. Okay, so similar to that, we can also have other methods, like we have count method. Okay, so for count method, what I'll do is I'll just take one string here. I'll just take here something like I'll write here Python programs are easy to understand. Okay, or you can say easy to read compared to easy to read compared to other programming language. So this is my string I have taken now. Now if I just take this A, you can see that this will be going to get printed. Now the next method which I want to say is about count method. So what does exactly count will perform? The count will perform, for example, it will check the occurrences of the particular letter or particular word, whatever you specified as an argument for a count function. I mean count method. So for example, like here, I'll be taking a variable b where this result will be stored and it returns an integer value because count will returns integer value. So how should I take this? A dot count. Here I have taken. Now I'll be just writing here as program, right? Okay. So here I'm just using print of B. Then you can see that the number is coming as 2. Why? Because if you observe program, so this is one, right? Then again there is another program here. So that means there are two programs are there in this string. That's why the count is 2 here. Okay, so in this way the count works here. This is just a normal way, like we have taken as a single argument. But you can also take as a range bounded. So range bounded in the sense you need to specify the range. I mean the first index and the last index. How you can specify is like here, for example, if I'll take this, B is equals to A dot count, right? I'll be just taking same content program. Now what I'll do is I'll just write the first index 16, okay, comma. If I don't know the length of, I mean, if I don't know the last index, I can use the help of length function. So what does length len will do? This will let us know how many number of characters are there here. So for example, if we have some characters there, so the length of function will return that numbers and it acts as an upper range. Okay. So here I'm writing length of A. Then if I'm closing here, okay, so I'll just print again B. So we'll see now what happens if I'll take print of B. You'll be getting as 1. Why you are getting as 1? Because as you have taken from 16, now this program will not be considered because the starting index is 16 till the last index. That's why only one program will come here. That is this one. That's why the count is coming as 1. So in this way also you can specify it, or else directly also you can specify here. So this, in this way the count will works here. Similar to that, we have some other functions, not exactly, but we'll see how. The next is ends with. Okay, now ends with, it will say that whether our string will ends with that. So actually it returns two kind of values. The one is true or else false. It means that it returns Boolean value. So if, for example, I'll just show you the same example here. In this one, what I'll do is, this A content will be as it is. Now here, if you see, this A will ends by E, right? So I'll just write here as B is equals to A dot ends with, right? I'll just take here as E now. If I'll take print of B, you can see you're getting the value as true. Why? Because why you will get as true? Because here it actually ends with E here. Okay, in this one. Okay, so that's why you are getting as true here. Or else you can also take one word apart from E, you can take language here. So that also what happens, it will give you as true value. So in this way you can use this ends with. Similar to that, we can also use with specifics to the range also. How can you use this? You can take simply by taking A dot ends with, right? A dot ends with, then in that one you can take your language. Okay, you can take language here, then you can specify 1,5. So here you may think that language, it is ending with language, so you will get as true, but not. Why? Because our range says that it only checks for index 1 to 4, because 5 means 5 will be excluded, so it will check from 1 to 4. So what happens is, if you will print this, you will get as false. So in this way, the ends with will works here. The next thing is in the same way we have starts with also. So ends with is something it is checking for the from the end side. At the same time, similarly also we can use starts with. So how can you use the starts with? For example, like here I'll do as a dot starts with, then I'm writing Python. Okay, here we written. Okay, fine. I'll just do this. I'll just write here Python, for example. Now, why you're getting as false here? The reason for this is here P is actually a small letter, but we started with P as a capital letter. In the same way, if we will just write this only, I'm just changing this part and you can check it that if I'll just write print of B, then it is getting as true. Okay. Now why? Because our statement P is a small letter here. That's why if I write Python here, then you will get the value as true here. So in this way, the ends with and starts with will works here. Similar to that, we have another method called as find method. Now, what does find method will says us that find method will check the particular character or particular word which you have taken in an argument, and it returns the starting index of that. For example, like I'll just show you an example here. If I use this in this one only, b is equals to a dot find. I'll write here, in this one programs is there, right? So here program is there here. So I'll just write here program. So now if I'll just print of b, then you'll get as 7. Why you are getting as 7? Because here what happens, it starts with the 7th index. Okay, and there are two programs here. The one is this program and there is another program, but it selects for the first occurrence only. So the first occurrence with this one. So this is my index 7. So in this way, you can check the find one. For example, if I want to check any other thing, you can also use in time bounded also. How can you use this? For example, the same, not time bounded, sorry, it is range bounded. A dot starts with, then I'll just write here as, I'll just use or, and in that one, I'll just write 1 comma 4. That means from that range only it verifies here. And if I'll just print B, right? So what happens is, sorry, it's not starts with, it's find with. Okay. So I'll just write here. Here I'll just write here find. I'll just write here as R. Then again I'll just write 1 comma 4. Then you can check this by printing B, you'll get as -1. What does it mean? That for the given index here, where is R? R is located here, but we are saying that it is from index 1 to 4. So because from index 1 to 4, that means here what happens, there is no R here. So because of that, if it is unsuccessful, then you will get the value as -1. Okay. So in this way, find will works here. Okay. The next thing is the next method is index method. Now you can, I'll just say you find method and index methods both are similar, but there is some difference here with respect to the unsuccessful operation. I mean, if you won't get that value, what you want to search, then you will get an error. Like for example, I'll just write this. First, I'll show you the similarity. If I'll write b is equals to a dot index, in this one, I'm just searching program, right? So I'm just searching program. So if I'll just print this b, you'll get the index value 7, as it is like the previous one in find method. What we have seen, the same thing we are seeing here. But now, for example, if the same index method, if I used for a value which is actually not there at that particular location, then what you will get, an error here. Instead of getting -1, because in find method you got -1, but here you will get an error. What error you will get? You will get value error here. So I'll just show you again the same example here, which I shown for find method. There I'm searching R, right? Here I'm just writing 1 comma 4. You will get what? Value error. Why you are getting value error? Because from this location to this location, this range of this location, you won't have any value called R, and because of that you are getting as value error. Okay, so in this one, in this way, the index method works here. Okay, then after this, the next method is format method. What is that? Format method. See, basically what happens is, whenever we are taking a string, okay, whenever we are taking a string, so even the numbers has to be converted into a string. But for example, if the number is an integer, and if the string, that is a different thing, that means the different types will happen. If I want to use integer value in my string, then I can use with the help of format method. So how can I use this? Basically, for example, like here, if I'm writing something, age is equals to 12, right? I've written age as 12 now. Now what I should do is, what I'll do is here is, I'm just taking one string here. Okay, what is that? If I'm here writing a is equals to, now what I'll write is, my name is, my name is, I can write here Jack. Okay, and if I'll write here, and I can write, and my age is, so here that I need to take age value, so I'll just use placeholder here. So I'll just use placeholder here. So this curly braces are actually called as placeholder. Okay, now what I'll do is, I'll just use format method. Now here I'm using format method. So what is my string name? That is a dot format of, I just want to use age in it. Okay, so I'm just writing age now. Now you can see that you are getting an output called as, my name is Jack and my age is 12. Okay, so in this way, the format method will be used. Okay, that means you're using an integer value in a string. This is how we can use with the help of format method. Now the next methods, from this onwards, I'll be showing you just to check whether the particular type of string is either number or alphabet or combination of all that. So it always gives me a two value, either true or false. So I'm using is alpha number as a method. So for this, I'll show you an example. What I'll write here is, I'll just write here a string called as A is equals to Python 3, right? Now what I have did is I've used alphabet and number, both of that. Okay, that means it should only contain alphabets and it should only contains numbers. Even it should not contain any kind of spaces. So I have written Python 3 without writing any space here. Now I'll just write here as B. I'll take another string B where I'm storing the result, and I just want to check whether it contains only alphabet or number. So I'm using alphanumeric method. So you can see if I'll just print of B, then you'll get as true. But now, for example, instead of that, if I write here as Python space 3, right? Now I'm used a space also here. So because of that, what happens is B is equals to, I'm just writing here, is alpha number. Sorry, I've written incorrect one. B is equals to what I should write here. Yeah, E is alpha number. Now I'll just print this B now. You'll be getting as false. Why you're getting as false? Because space has been there here. It should only contain alphabets and number. If there are any kind of spaces here, then it won't be considered as alphanumeric 1, combination of alphanumeric 1. So because of that reason, you're getting as false. Now, for example, there are some other methods are also there, like is alpha is there. So for this, what I'm doing is alphabet means it should contain only alphabet. It shouldn't contain any kind of symbol for the next one. So here I'm writing A is equals to, I'm just writing a string where I'm using dollar also. Okay. So apart from alphabet, it also contains special symbols such as dollar I have taken. Now if I'll use is alpha here, so how can I use this? B is equals to, I'm writing is alpha, right? And if I just print of B now, you can see that it is getting false. Why? Because it should only contain alphabets. So if you take only alphabets, then you will get the value as true. Okay, similar to that, we have another one called as is identifier. Identifiers, you know what are the properties of identifiers, right? The first number, I mean the first character should not be a number. So such kind of properties there. So what I'll do here is I'll just show you an identifier. So for that, what I'm writing here is I'm just writing here as I can write anything because alphabets are also identifiers. Okay, so for example, right here, if I write here, I'm writing one high, I'm writing here. Now, what I'll do is I'll just take as is identifier. You will be getting as false. Why? Because in identifier, the first position should not be a number. So because of that, it is getting false. Similarly, we have another method called as e-space. So for example, like here, I'll take as good day. I have taken one string called good day. Now in this one, I'll just write here as a dot is space. If I'll write here print of B now, okay. So here, why I'm getting as false here? Because in E space, what we have to consider is if any one of the letter is alphabet or number, then it won't then it results as a false. If it only contains spaces, then only each space will give as true. Like here, I'll just write some spaces I have written here. Now, if I'll do b is equals to a dot is space, and if I print here b, you'll be getting as true. Okay. So in this way, this are what some of the, I mean, methods I have used this. So in the next part, I'll show you the remaining methods. Okay.